Hello, and welcome back to a Fishy Plant Man fish production. With me, Fishy Plant Man, as your host. Alright, I kind of wanted to shoot a little bit of the blind angel, but there was a nasty glare on that tank that just ruined everything that I couldn't quite deal with. So, I won't. The fish is doing fine and is officially eating. Though he doesn't eat like a angelfish, and I would like to kind of get it on video. But if there is any eyesight, I really don't want to discourage eating. I don't think the fish would notice the phone, but it does seem to try to eat more when I'm not on top of the tank. Don't quite get it. Does seem to be able to sense when I'm near the tank, though, and at least tries to eat better when I'm away from the tank. And what I mean by that, well, angelfish eat like a lot of fish. They see food, they go after it. Well, the angel in the other tank, I really don't think can see the food. If he sees anything, I'm thinking it's like large shadows. And maybe that's how the fish knows I'm around the tank, is it like gets dark in that area. And it's sensing light more than anything else. Not sure. But yeah, angelfish, like a lot of fish, they'll see something and they'll go after it. Well, if that one can't see, how has it been eating? Well, it's at least been attempting to eat most of the time, kind of like a goldfish or a koi. Just goes up to the top and sucks water. If there's food that gets in the mouth, great. If not, yeah, blows a bubble most of the time. But he has came up with a way of eating. So I guess if that fish wants to eat like a goldfish or a koi, at least it's eating, or trying to eat most of the time. Yeah. I do know that is the idea. I've seen it eat once. Like I say, makes a better effort if I'm not on top of the tank, and I'm most interested in the effort. I'm going to start feeding. I was feeding sparse because the fish wasn't eating it anyway, but I'm going to start feeding a little heavier so that chances are wherever the fish surfaces, there's going to be food nearby. Kind of hedge the poor guy's bets. I mean, if I drop 3 pieces of food in the tank and the fish senses that there's food in the tank, goes to the surface, but isn't close enough to get one of those 3 pieces of food, what have I done? But anyway, that's an awful long-winded way of saying that the blind fish is at least trying to eat. We just need sustainability, like I've said in the last video. Over here, things are going well. I did scrape the glass this week. Well, these few minutes. The front panel was really starting to look like the back panel. Well, not nearly as bad, but I think you get the idea. That it was enough that I needed to scrape the front panel. The side panel well, I'm not doing that kind of a shot, so I'm leaving the side in the back. We'll see when the snails catch up again. There's a lot of snails now. I topped off the tank, so it's not as clear. I think a lot of them have been knocked off. They're a nocturnal snail to begin with. But even that wasn't the most interesting thing of the week. The most interesting thing of the week kind of justifies something that I've unofficially have been doing for a while now. I'm sure everybody knows what a gravel vac is, right? It cleans the bottom, cleans your gravel, or, takes the gunky layer off the top of the sand, whatever you use it for. Well, I've been under the impression that uneaten food and waste does cause ammonia. Yeah, that's the first thing it does. Causes ammonia. And that's why we clean it out, is because we don't want the ammonia. But something that occurred to me, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, somewhere in there, 3 years ago, I'm not sure when it occurred to me, but it occurred to me. Uneaten food, mostly, but even fish waste, yeah, it's going to break down and it's going to create ammonia. But it's also going to stop. It can't do that indefinitely. There's no way. So what happens when it stops, when it's done breaking down? Well, I thought it would just be stuff at the bottom of the aquarium, consider it substrate. Apparently, there is some benefit that I didn't consider too. It seems, and I'm not going to get into it, I've watched one video a couple of times, but I've only watched one video, and I need to do a bit more research than that. But it would appear that at the very least, it's got like an antibacterial. That uneaten food in the fish waste somehow apparently creates an antibacterial. That's interesting. Interesting enough that I'm going to look into it more. And I believe it's called humus. Breaks down into a couple of acids, and you end up with humans. Not people, but like the byproduct of humus and these acids comes out humans. I should have seen how that was spelled. But I didn't. At least I didn't remember how it was spelled. Not quite like humans, obviously. So, that's what I'm going to be looking into. The benefits of, I guess, letting your waste break down completely. Yep. The other thing I've done, like I say, I didn't scrape the back. I don't think those spots on the fish are ick anymore. Sorry. Okay. I said sorry. I may edit it out. I may not. Probably won't, actually. I hit the phone. I don't know. It just... It depends on the jumbled up mess when I watch it through again. I might leave it in for the comedy. Anyway, the spots on half-tail and Pepper's fins, pectoral fins, I don't think it's ick anymore. It doesn't change. I've stopped adding salt in the interest of the light, really. I've got a bunch of salt creep on the light. Yeah, I did scrub. I wasn't planning on showing up here, so I just left the brush and everything. But there's the salt creep. Salt creep. Salt creep. So, yeah. Not adding any more salt. Those spots don't seem to be doing much of anything. The lights are lamping down. So, yeah. I don't think I'm treating for ick anymore. And it's gonna be a while before I add more salt. I do believe there's plenty of salt in the tank at this point. The other thing I did... No, not the frog that fell in love with the seal. I did not do that on purpose. That's just how it worked out. I did add fertilizer this week. I've talked about my friend's tank in the past, and it's got plants like that. The one there in the corner. The lights are dimming, so the color's weird. But the ones in that tank go all the way to the surface. And like this one, it's a 75-gallon tank. They just shot right up to the surface. So, yeah, good fertilizer. The lack of gravel, it's not a better light. I can improve the light, but I'm dealing with the algae. Yeah. It just shot right up to the surface. So, adding my fertilizer. Gonna try to remember that each week. And we'll do another jump cut, because the Monstera has got a new leaf. Okay, maybe not a jump cut, but a pause cut. Anyway, it has its advantages and its disadvantages like anything else. This is the new leaf. That one. No, it does not have any perforations, fenestrations, none of that. But it is, I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it's angled slightly different. This one's angled toward the window, like everybody else, including this one. This one is more out into the room. Not toward the window, and not toward the light, which is turned off for the day. Even the one that gets all the light is, ramping down for the day, because it's late in the day. Don't tell anybody. I did not get on this anywhere near early. It's gonna publish sometime in the night, I'm sure. But this leaf did seem to respond to the new light. Although it started growing shortly after I put the light up there. So I don't know how affected it is or isn't by the light. But I have noticed, and yes, that's another jump cut that I didn't plan on, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this is seems to be affected a little bit. Changed the position. But I gotta stop and think about something. Up here, we've got the Adansonii. I didn't know why or what happened to that leaf. Supposed to be a leaf there. Obviously there's not. But just behind it, I think says something. Yep. I would say that leaf has been burned by the light. So if that one got a little burnt, this one is close enough that maybe it got a lot burnt. Maybe that's why that leaf is missing, is it just got cooked. Yeah. I will definitely wait for another leaf. Maybe I'll take this out and plant it. Because the Adansonii, holy cow, did I just see a ghost or what? I could have sworn when I turned my head somebody would be standing there. Anyway, yeah. This doesn't need the light. And apparently even the smaller light has caused some damage. So maybe this plant will move. Maybe it's time for it to move. I'm not going to make a rash decision, but might be time. Alright. With that, I will talk to you next time.